Hey there, I'm Corey, and I actually wasn't even planning on filming this video today, but I was cleaning my floors, so I had to move the furniture out of the way anyway, and I just happened to be wearing this outfit, so because I was teaching earlier, so I said I might as well just film a video for you, why not? And it's going to be one of our chakra videos. We'll focus on the Vishuddha chakra, the fifth one. It's located right here in your throat. It's a center of self-expression, your truth, and your creativity. So take a seated position that's comfortable for you. You could sit up on a blanket or on a block. And just rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes. And start to breathe in and out. And as you're inhaling and exhaling, think about drawing the breath into the back of the throat, almost like you're breathing into a straw back there. And I know as we're in January, starting off the new year, a lot of people have creative goals for their year. I know I do, and a lot of people I've talked to have. Lots of bloggers on the internet that you read talk about it. Instagram talks about it. And one of the ways that we open up our centers of creative expression is through this fifth chakra, Vishuddha. It's the home of our voice, which is one of the most important ways to express ourselves and communicate with the world. So as you're breathing out here, bring your attention, your focus to that area. We think about when it becomes blocked, when we're not living in our truth, not speaking our truth, whether we don't feel safe to, or we're not fully sure what that means yet. We'll work a little with our poses today to be able to open it up and reconnect to that message that you want to share, first with yourself and then with the world. Let's bring the palms together to touch at the heart. Blink your eyes open, and then we'll use an inhale to reach the arms out and up overhead. Let the palms touch at the top, draw them down through heart center. We'll take that loop 2 more times. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands down into your heart. Last one. Exhale, bring your hands into heart center. This time as you reach up, we're going to come into a twist. So let the palms touch overhead and then twist it over to your right. Press the right fingers gently back behind you so you sit up nice and tall. Maybe take your gaze out over your back shoulder. And think about lengthening the spine as much as you can here. And we'll unwind to the center, come over to the other side. Left fingers pressed gently behind you. Breathe down into your belly. Unwind through the middle, reach the arms up to the sky. We'll take a side bend over to the right. Stay long in both sides. Keep both sits bones rooting down into your mat. Inhale, we'll come up through center. Exhale, over to the left. And then inhale, rise up. We'll take a nice and easy forward fold. Just walk your hands out a little bit. We'll walk the hands back up towards the seat. Grab hold of your knees. We'll take a few rounds of a seated cat and cow. So use an inhale, reach your heart forward, draw the shoulders together behind you. Now as you exhale, round in, hug your lowest belly in, draw the shoulder blades apart from each other. And then inhale takes you forward, find some length in your spine, open across the heart and across the throat. And then exhale, round in, dropping chin down in towards your chest. Inhale, reverse it. We'll take that a couple more times. Exhale to round. Last one. Exhale back into your seated cat pose. And come back up through center and then press your way around or roll your way over onto hands and knees. We'll meet in a tabletop position. And take a look down at your hands. Create some space between your fingers. Make sure the pointers point forward or turn them slightly out. And then tuck your toes under. We'll come into our downward facing dog. Nice and easy here. Step your feet to hips distance. Pedal out your knees or get your wiggles out. Let your neck be nice and long, the base of your neck relaxed. And take an inhale all together. On your exhale, step your right foot up between your hands. We'll lower the back knee down, untuck the toes, reach high, take Anjaneyasana. And then on your exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot, draw the hips back, take half splits, flex through your front toes. Inhale, rebend the front knee, reach the arms high, back to your lunge. And then exhale, draw your hips back into your half splits. We're going to do that once more. Inhale, bend the knee, reach high. Exhale, let your hips draw back. Then we'll rebend the knee, crawl forward. Shift on your back knee so you bring the left foot over to the right side. We're going to walk our hands around to the left side of your mat. Plant your left foot at the back. Sweep your right arm up and over and create a nice long line from your foot all the way out to your fingertips. Take an inhale. On your exhale, close off the shoulders so you come to face the back of your mat. Slide your left knee back. Lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck the toes, reach your heart forward for baby cobra. And then exhale, lower back down. Press up through hands and knees. Look at your hands, spread the fingers, tuck your toes under, come back to your down dog. Now we're facing the other way. Take an inhale here all together. And then exhale, step your foot up to the top of your mat. Left foot steps up this time, sorry. Lower the back knee down, untuck the toes, reach the arms high, find your Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, draw the hips back, frame the front foot with your fingers, flex the foot. Yeah, try to reach your heart forward toward the top of your foot. Inhale, rebend the front knee, reach high, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hips reach back, fingers come down to frame your front foot. And take that once more. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hips draw back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Then rebend into your front knee, crawl the fingers forward, shift on your back knee so you kick the right foot over to the left side of your mat. Take both hands, walk them around all the way around the right side of your mat. Right hand plants at the back. Sweep your left arm up and over as you straighten out the left leg. Maybe turn your gaze up onto your fingers. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, close off the shoulders. You come back to facing forward on your mat. Yeah. And then you can lift your knees up or keep them lowered in a plank pose. We'll come all the way back down to your belly. Inhale, reach the spine forward, draw the elbows back, baby cobra. Exhale, back down. Tuck the toes under. Press up through hands and knees. Come on back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right heel up and back. Exhale, step your foot up in between your hands. We'll shift the right foot a little over to the right. Spin your back heel down. Press through both feet. Rise up, warrior one. And then take your hands to clasp behind your low back. Stretch your knuckles down your thigh, open across your heart and across your throat. And then fold into humble warrior. Tuck your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Gaze comes to the inside of your right foot. Keep pressing down through the whole outside edge of your back foot and your back heel. Hug your belly in towards your spine. Let your shoulders be relaxed and breathe. And then we'll let the clasp of the hands release. Take them down to bring your front foot. Spike your back heel up. And then we'll turn all 10 toes to face the right edge of your mat, coming to supported side plank. Take an inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, come back into your low lunge. Step back to plank pose. You could shift to downward dog or lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to meet back in your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale here. And then inhale to take your left heel back behind you. Exhale, step it forward in between the hands. Shift it a little to the left, spin your back heel down, rise up, warrior one on the second side. Clasp your hands behind your low back with the opposite finger on top. Inhale, lengthen the arms, reach the heart forward. Exhale, fold your shoulder to the inside of your left knee. Take your gaze to the inside of that foot. And then let the hands separate. They'll find their way down to frame your front foot. Spike the back heel high. And then spin all 10 toes to face the left side of your mat. Plant the whole left foot down and reach the left arm up to the sky, supported Vashisthasana on the other side. Take one more breath here. Exhale, hand comes down, come back to a low lunge, step back to plank pose and decide if you want to take a flow here or just shift your hips up and back to down dog. Inhale, right heel reaches high. Exhale, step the foot up to the top of your mat. Keep your feet in the same line this time. We'll spin the back heel down, unwind the arms, rise up into warrior two. And then flip your front palm to the sky, lower the back hand down, reverse your warrior. Start to straighten out through your front leg. We'll shift from here into triangle pose. Right fingers reach up and out of the waist. And then tuck your arms, take your right hand down to your shin, ankle, or the outside of your foot. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Lengthen the crown of your head out towards the front of the room. We'll press through both feet, make your way up to standing. Take your hands down onto your hips and parallel out the edges of your feet. We'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. Let your hands drop down underneath your shoulders and then walk them back in line with your feet. Let the crown of your head reach down toward the floor. Then walk your hands back out underneath your shoulders. We'll bring them back around to the top of your mat so you come to a low lunge. Step back to plank pose or to down dog. Take a flow or skip it, it's up to you. Do what works for you in your practice. We'll meet back in downward dog. Use an inhale, lift your left heel high. Exhale, step the foot up to the top of your mat. Spin your back heel down, unwind the arms, rise up, warrior two. Flip your front palm up to the sky, lower the back hand down, reverse your warrior. And then straighten out your front leg. Start to reach your left fingers forward, reach the hips to the back. We'll come into our triangle pose on the second side. Press down through the whole back foot and through the ball of the front foot. Expand wide across your chest. And we'll press through both feet, come all the way up. This time bring your hands onto your hips, parallel out the feet, and then we'll interlace the hands behind the lower back. Stretch the knuckles down to the floor, open up your heart and your throat. Exhale, fold forward. Keep a little bend into your elbows, even if it's easy for you to straighten them. Bend a little bit into your knees too. And then let the hands come apart from each other. They'll travel down to your mat. Walk them out around your left foot. Turn back to face the front of your mat in a low lunge. Step to plank or step to down dog. It's up to you. Take your flow or take a few breaths back in your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and take a big step to bring your feet up behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, reach your heart forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way back down. And then bring your big toes together, heels a little bit apart. Sit your hips down low and we'll reach the arms high to come into your chair pose. Lift your chin and your torso a little bit so you're gazing forward instead of down at the ground. Hug your low ribs in and tuck your sitting bones down to the mat. We'll press through the heels, rise all the way up to standing. Take your hands into heart center. And then we'll step your right foot back on the mat. Take your feet a little apart to the sides. We're setting up for pyramid pose. Press the ball of the front foot down and the whole back foot, especially the heel, down into the ground. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you might like to take reverse prayer behind your back. Spread open across your chest, of course, and across your throat too. We'll start to hinge forward at the hips, coming down into Parsvottanasana. Keep pressing down through the ball of your front foot, especially right underneath your big toe. Plug your left hip back into its socket so your hips stay even. Think about reaching your nose forward towards the top of your foot or towards your big toe. Then we'll press through the front foot, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out to the sides. We're going to shift from here into airplane, so we'll start to shift more weight into your front foot. Keep a little bend in that knee as you kick the right heel out and back. Yeah. And if you want, you can take this into Warrior 3, extending your arms alongside of your ears. Try to make a really long straight line from the crown of your head all the way out to your back foot. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, gently rebend your standing leg. Step your right toes to the back so you wind up in a high lunge. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, step your right foot forward to meet your left. You'll wind up in Utkatasana, or chair pose. Then press through the heels, come all the way up to standing. Take your hands back into heart center. We'll step the feet a little bit apart so you can shift your left foot to the back this time. Straighten out the legs, create more space between your feet if you need to. Decide if you want to keep your hands here at the heart or bring them behind your back, taking reverse prayer. Plug your right hip back and in, start to hinge forward at the hips, coming all the way down into your pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana. Keep the shoulders rolling open. If you have the palms, let them press into the spine. Hug your lowest belly in, reach your nose forward toward the top of your foot. And we'll start to press a little more through the ball of the front foot to come up to standing. Reach your arms out to the sides. And start to shift more weight into your front foot, especially into the front heel. And then maybe you kick the left leg out and back behind you, coming into Warrior 3 with airplane arms. Or you could reach your arms forward, taking them alongside your ears. Wherever you are, flex hard through the back toes. Make your back leg as straight as you can. Keep that easy bend in your front knee. One more breath. Exhale, rebend the standing leg. Step the back toes back, rise up, high lunge. Inhale. And then exhale, slide your left foot forward to meet your right. Sink the hips down low one more time. And then press through the heels. We'll come all the way up to standing, back to our mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms high and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, and we'll lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck your toes. We'll set up for locust pose. So reach your arms down by your sides and spin the palms down. On an inhale, lift up through your arms, your chest, and your head. Lengthen out the crown of your head and stretch your fingertips in the opposite direction. Think more about getting longer than lifting higher. If you don't have any problems in your low back, you might add the legs in too, bringing them about hips distance apart, firming your thighs, making the legs as strong as you can. Take another breath here. And then exhale, lower everything down, turn your gaze to the side, just relax. And then take your gaze back down to your mat. In your second round of this back bend with the belly down, you might take locust again, just like we did. Or you could bend into your knees. Keep them about hips distance apart. Reach back and maybe the fingers wrap around the ankles. We're setting up for Dhanurasana or bow pose. If you have hold of the ankles, start to kick the legs back into your hands, opening yourself up across the chest, and you know what I'm going to say, across your throat too. Keep pressing the pubic bone down into the mat, drawing the inner thighs in toward each other so they stay hips distance apart. Sometimes they want to splay out to the sides. Take another inhale. And exhale, slowly, gently release everything. Turn your gaze to the other side. Take a few breaths here. And then turn your nose down toward the mat. Bring your hands beside your low ribs. We'll press up through tabletop. And we set up for one more back bend. Coming up on your knees. And we're setting up for camel pose. So you'll start with your toes tucked under. And if you had blocks, you could have blocks on their highest level right up beside your ankles. And then we'll bring your hands behind your low back. And press the fingers or point the fingers down to the floor as if you're wearing pockets and you had your fingers in your pockets. Start to draw the elbows and the shoulders together behind your back. Lifting your chest up towards the sky. Maybe this is enough. If you feel more open in your spine, think about reaching your hips forward, keeping them stacked right over your knees. Maybe the chest opens a little more to the sky. Maybe you can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling, and you might find that it's easy to drop one hand down and find your heel. Maybe the other hand finds your other heel. Or you can always keep your hands on your low back supporting you. And then as you're ready to come out of it, take the hands back to your lower back. Keep lengthening the tops of the butt cheeks down toward the floor, and imagine like someone has a string pulling you up out of your waist. We'll set the hips back onto the heels and just take a couple breaths to reset. We'll reverse our deep back bends by taking a forward fold. So we'll straighten the legs out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Press your hands down beside your hips. And then we'll start to fold forward over straight legs. Grabbing for your feet or your ankles, or just letting the arms rest beside your legs. And let yourself fold forward. Taking a counter pose to our camel. And then release the grip from around the feet. And we'll slowly roll our way up to seated. Come all the way down onto your back. We're going to take one round of fish pose. So if you like, I like to bring my hands underneath my sacrum or like right underneath your butt. And then walk your elbows a little closer together so you can rise up on the forearms. You'll either let your head drop back like this, or if that doesn't feel good on your neck, just keep looking up towards the sky. Take a few deep breaths here. And take your gaze back up towards the ceiling if it's not already there. Slide your way onto your back. And then moving nice and slow, gather the knees one by one up into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then we'll take an easy twist, taking the knees over to the left side first. Spread your arms wide, gaze out over your right shoulder. And then look up towards the sky. Leave your upper body as it is. Shift the knees over to the right. Letting your gaze shift over to the left. We'll roll onto your back. Draw the knees wide towards the armpits. Reach for your ankles or the outsides of your feet and take a little rock from side to side and happy baby. And then draw the knees back into your chest. Give yourself one more squeeze. And if you're ready, start to extend your way out into your final resting pose. Drawing your chin away from your chest, shoulders down your back, keeping that Vishuddha chakra nice and open. Let your eyes softly close and drop into your Shavasana. Take it nice and easy as you're coming out of your Shavasana. Give yourself some time to reset and just reconnect with your intention. Hopefully this new year finds you introducing more creative expression or just self-expression into your life. And thank you for watching and for spending some time with me. I appreciate you. Namaste.